10 Eastern on NBCSN. The Sharks and Knights from Vegas, with that series tied at a game apiece. On the Major League Baseball scoreboard, no score between the Orioles and the Red Sox. Bottom of the third at Fenway. Bottom of the third in the Bronx. Yankees a 1-0 lead over the White Sox. Top three in Toronto. The Blue Jays lead the Rays 1-0. Top of the fourth in Miami. No score between the Marlins and the Phillies. Going to the bottom of the second in D.C. Pirates a 2-1 lead over the Nationals. Again, the big story, Tiger Woods a 2-stroke lead with just 2 holes remaining. Final round action at the Masters. Get all of your scores on the NBC Sports Scores app. I'm Scott Seidenberg, NBC Sports Radio.
Don't miss the Plains of Fame Air Show May 4th and 5th at Chino Airport. Fun for the whole family. Enjoy watching aviation history take to the skies over Chino. See famous planes and demonstration teams like the F-16 Piper demo and Heritage Flight, Sanders Sea Fury, the Tumbling Bear, and Eric Tucker. Over 50 historic aircraft will be performing for your enjoyment, including the P-47 Thunderbolts and P-51 Mustangs. There'll be military vehicles, a veteran panel, kids zone, and a vendor marketplace where you'll find plenty of food and beverages. Gates open Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. Parking is free. Tickets, $25. Kids 11 and under are free. Spend the day at the Plains of Fame Air Show Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th in Chino. For tickets and info, go to plainsoffame.org. That's plainsoffame.org. plainsoffame.org.
Welcome to the Tom Hartman Program. I'm live right here, Monday through Friday.
Are you ready for the #1 progressive talk show host in America?
71% of people say that the information they get from their friends and family, they take more seriously than the stuff they read in the media. Only 42% of Americans think the media is the most credible source of news. And therefore, if you're informed, if you're awake, you need to be telling your friends. You need to be talking to your friends and family.
24-time New York Times best-selling author and has nearly 6.5 million listeners nationwide.
These are crimes. These are international crimes against humanity. And I would love to see somebody held to account in this administration.
Introducing Tom Hartman on KCAA Radio, weekday afternoons starting at 2.
The Tri-City Shopping Center in Redlands is serving up some really cool ice cream at La Micho Acana. Then get your chocolates and other delights from See's Candies. Moms and future moms who visit the mall can cool off and relax while they get treated like royalty at Shiny Nails or Francis Nails and then pampered at Texture Hair. The Tri-City Center is filled with retailers who care about you. Shop at the Tri-City Center in Redlands and see why they call it the Mall with a Heart.
NBC News Radio, I'm Phil Hewlett. A Texas town is recovering after a tornado touchdown earlier today. Numerous people were injured when it ripped through the town of Franklin, which is about halfway between Dallas and Houston. No deaths have been reported. The parents of a 5-year-old boy who fell from the third-floor balcony of the Mall of America remain by his side. The troubled man, who police believe threw or pushed the boy off that balcony, remains in jail. House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Richard Neal is getting tough with the Trump administration on President Trump's tax returns. The Massachusetts Democrat is insisting on 6 years of Trump's personal tax returns and some business returns. Tiger Woods is 2 shots off the lead following a third-round 67 on Saturday at the Masters in Augusta, Georgia. At 11 under par through 3 rounds, Tiger is tied for second with Tony Finau and 2 shots behind the leader, Francisco Molinari. Phil Hewlett, NBC News Radio.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley. It's another delights from See's Candies, the Mall with a Heart.
So, Truth Only Show, and we would like to invite you to go to truthonlyshow.com, which is currently down, but will be back up within the day or probably tomorrow, the next day, but that's truthonlyshow.com regardless, and you can email us at truthonlyshow@gmail.com if you want to ask us any questions or get in contact with us. But now here's the host of the Truth Only Show, David Rodriguez.
Good morning, everyone. Great to have you here with us today again on another show of a Truth Only Show where we deliver you nothing but the truth. And we're talking about, the truth that we're talking about is the truth about you and every single one of you that's listening to the show. So I think it's the most important thing that you can learn. You've heard the saying, know the truth and the truth shall make you free. And that is a truth. It is true. Once you know about yourself, how your life responds to the way you think, you will be amazed at how much you can do, how much you can accomplish in this life. So anyway, thank you very much for being with us. And before we get started, I want to thank those that make this show possible. Of course, you listeners out there. And I want to give special thanks to our engineer, Nick. Thank you very much, Nick. And our webmaster, Mr. Joel Strouser. And my co-host and producer, who you just heard, was Michael. Thank you very much, all of you. Now, just to give you a little idea as to what we teach and what we talk about here on the show, excuse me, is human nature. Human nature we believe to be the most important thing that you can know about yourself. Now, this show isn't about opinions. We're not going to give you any opinions or what we think about you or this or that. No, we're going to give you the truth about your true nature. Now, it's the truth about you. And this is about learning to understand the power that you have. Even though you've had it all your life, you have always had this power. And you have the exact same amount as anyone else. There is no such thing that one person is more intelligent than another. And we're going to make that point to you today. I'm sure you will understand. We're going to give you very simple ideas, very simple concepts that if you can take this and really take it seriously and think about it, I'm sure you're going to be able to bring about changes that you're going to be amazed. Let's put it that way. You're going to be amazed at how you've been living and how you can live. That's really what's going to happen today. But you must pay close attention. I'm going to try to take this as slow and easy as I can because I don't want to lose anyone, okay? Our topic today is intelligence, okay? Intelligence, but I don't want to present it in the way that most of us have always we've been given this idea. We've all had this concept about intelligence that, in other words, you can measure intelligence this way or that way. Some people, you take these intelligence tests and see this person has a higher IQ and this, that. Forget all that, okay? Forget all the ideas and concepts that you've had about intelligence. Try to look at it this way, okay? Now, everything, and I mean everything that you're thinking about is intelligence, everything. And I mean it, and it doesn't matter what it is that you're thinking about or how you're using it. It is all intelligence, okay? Now, this is the most important point that you can understand from what we're going to talk about today, is that everything that exists is created by intelligence. What I mean by that is this. Whatever you are thinking about, the types of thoughts that you think on a daily basis, they will match perfectly what you're experiencing in your outer world. Let me give you an example. If you're living with limited things in your life, and I mean limited, let's put this, and hey, you know what? And before we go any further, forget about good or bad or any of that stuff. Just forget about it. Just follow what I'm going to try to say. whatever it is that you're thinking about, again, as I said, let's say limited thinking, your exterior world is going to match. What I mean by that is if you're thinking limited financial thoughts, like in other words, oh, these things are too expensive and I only make this amount of money and I've been living this way and I didn't go to school so I don't have a great career. If you're thinking those ways, you are most likely experiencing very limited things. Let's say maybe can't afford to buy a house. Maybe you're driving an old car, a used car. So think about the types of things you think and think about the types of things that you have. And if you think about it seriously, and I don't mean every once in a while say, oh, you dream about having a big mansion and a Rolls Royce. I don't mean that you think about, I'm talking about what you think about on a daily basis. That is what you are experiencing. That is how you are using your intelligence. Now, again, all thoughts are intelligence. Everything you're thinking is intelligence. And I'm not talking about, again, how smart you are. Because everything you think is your use of intelligence. And everybody is exactly the same. We all have the same amount of intelligence. And I know that many of you out there are going to say, no, that's not true. Well, it's because you haven't really thought about it. You might have been thinking, oh, that guy's more intelligent. He makes a lot of money. He's got a big house and a big car. He's a doctor. No. The only reason he has whatever that he has is because that's what he thinks about on a daily basis. You must understand that point. It's what you think about on a daily basis. Now, here, look at it this way. Think about it this way. I'm going to give you different examples how you can think about it, and you will see this makes total sense because this is the truth. Think about somebody that you know. Think about their lives and what they experience is different than yours. Think about what you think about on a daily basis and see what you have or what you don't have. Now think about the other person, what they have or their accomplishments, and think about how they think. And you will see that everybody's living exactly I don't want to say at the level because we're all at whatever level we're thinking, that's where we are. I want to say it this way. They appear to be living, let's say somebody you know appears to be living much better than you. If they appear to be living better than you, it's only because they think a little higher thoughts than you. That's all. There's nothing else going on here. The reason is, while you're thinking, whatever you're thinking about, you are creating. It's that simple. Now, you have freedom. You can change the level of your thoughts, change to greater things. But I'm talking about a daily basis. Just change the greater things. Begin to think greater possibilities, but constantly. Don't look back anymore. Constantly. Keep looking forward, and you will see in time that things begin to change. It's going to be a very slight change in the beginning, but as long as you keep I don't know if I want to say increasing or changing or seeing more potential or seeing greater things in your mind, eventually you will be experiencing them. Now, let me tell you something. Let me give you a concept maybe you've never thought about, because that's what we're going to do. That's what we want to do. We want to get you to think. Okay? You can't see life. I'm going to repeat that because you probably maybe have never heard that before. You cannot see life. The only thing you can see are the effects of life. What I mean by that is this. What gives life, the power, the energy that gives life, that moves your body, that grows the trees, you can't see that power. That's life. You only see the effect. You only see the physical things. That's all. You see the movement, but it's not the physical thing that's moving itself. It's the life behind it that you cannot see is what is moving it. And what is moving it is thought. I know you might think that's a concept that might be too far out. It's not. It's not. Going back to repeat what I said earlier. The types of physical things that you have in your life match perfectly by the types of thoughts you think. Actually, if we could go and take a picture of your exterior world, the things you have in your exterior world, the types of things you have, and if we could go inside your mind and take a picture of what is going on in your mind, you would be amazed how identical they are. They match perfectly. And the reason I say that you cannot see life is because you only see the effects, which is the physical world. The whole entire physical world are only effects. That's all. They're only effects of thought. They are real, of course. Your body is for real. That table or chair or that phone that you have in your hand, whatever, they're only effects of what somebody thought. That's all they are. They're effects. On their own, they can do nothing. You know that? On the physical things in this world cannot do anything on their own. They need that life, that power that moves them, to change them, to get them to respond. It takes that power that I said you cannot see to move them. And it's thought that moves everything. Here's another thing you cannot see. You can't see love. There's no way. You can't see it. The only thing you see are the effects of love. That's all. The effect. The actual love, you can't see it. It's an invisible thing. Same as thoughts. You can't see thoughts. Thoughts are part of that life world that I'm talking about that you can't see. The thought is life. The thought is what gives life to everything in your life. All the decisions that you have made throughout your life are responsible for where you are living right now at this moment. Think about it. It is your thoughts. You're responsible. It's your thoughts that you have thought or you've decided, your decisions you have made all your life, regardless of whether you let others influence you. And quickly, I'm going to say, way too many of us are letting others influence us and do our thinking for us. It is time that we start thinking for ourselves. There's way, way, way too much of that going on in this world, allowing others to do our thinking for us. Way too much. Now, get this concept, and I mean really get this concept and think about it. What I said earlier, that the physical world are only effects. All the effects that you have in your life, all the physical things, are due to the life that's behind them, which is your thought. You give life to the physical world. You draw it to you. You draw the things that match the way you think to you. What I hear, it's actually pretty simple. Somebody that has a big mansion and drives them big cars and spends those millions of dollars, the only reason they do that is because that's the types of thoughts that they think on a daily basis. And if you don't believe it, if you don't live that way, how often do you think that way on a daily basis about big cars and huge bank accounts? Do you think that on a daily basis? I'd be willing to bet 100% that you don't. That's the only difference it makes us. So going back to what I said, intelligence, it's every thought is intelligence. Everything that we think is intelligence. That's all. And like I said earlier, you have freedom. You have freedom to make a decision and say, from now on, I'm not going to think limited thoughts. From now on, I'm going to start thinking possibilities on a daily basis. Possibilities, greater things on a daily basis. And I don't mean once in a while. I'm talking about on the daily basis like you've been doing in the past, but change it now. On a daily basis, think about greater things for yourself. See yourself already living something greater, something that's greater for you, because what may be greater for you might not be greater for me or greater for the next person. It's whatever is great for you. Begin to just think it on a daily basis, because you are always be making something. And you cannot stop making something all the time. You can't. It's impossible to stop creating something all the time. The reason I say it's impossible, because if you want to take a test, test yourself. See how long you can sit there and not think a thought. Try it. See how long you last. Not think anything. Possible. So if it's impossible to stop thinking and stop creating something, why not start making the life that you want? All you have to do is continue to think it. Think about it. That's pretty incredible. I mean, it's incredible, but it's the truth. It's the whole, nothing but the truth about yourself. That's why, we started the show, I said, know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You want more peace? Think it. You want more love? Think it. You want more joy? Think it. You want more happiness? Think it. You want more abundance? Think it. Continue to think it on a daily basis. You will begin to produce whatever you choose to think about. And that's the truth, the whole truth about you. That's it. Intelligence. That is your nature. Your nature is you are free to think what you want. Your nature is you are free to create and live the life that you want to live. That is your nature. And guess what? You can't change it. There's not a thing you can do about changing it. Nothing. There's nothing you can do to change your nature. That's impossible, because you are made that way. That's it. So isn't it better to understand your true nature and begin to experience the life that you want? I don't see anything greater than that. That is the greatest thing that you can learn about yourself. Greater than anything that there is, anything that exists. That's why we believe the show is so important. Begin to understand the truth about yourself and tell others. Tell all those that are around you so they can begin to experience a greater life. All of you can. Everybody can. It's all about knowing the truth. So right now, we're going to take a little short break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. We're going to have a discussion on this topic. And I want to remind you, listening to KCAA 1050 AM, 102.3 FM, and 106.5 FM, here on the Truth Only Show, where you can find us at trutholnyshow.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Parecen desiertas, Carmencita se fue de viaje. aquí esperando.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Truth Only Show. That song that you just heard is by a band called Enanitos Verdes, called Amores Lejanos. And that
Which means what?
It means distant lovers, long distance relationship, basically, right? Yeah, we thought we'd just change it up here and play some Spanish music. Why not?
Yeah.
So your talk today was about intelligence.
Yeah.
But you had a little bit of a different definition of intelligence.
Well, yeah, because it's a different way to look at it, but it's the truth about it. Intelligence is just anything you're thinking. You're using intelligence, in other words, just to think. And it don't matter what it is, whether it's good or bad, you're using intelligence to think. So forget this concept that this person's more intelligent. Forget that. That's so false. I kind of, it's hard to believe that we're still in 2019 still thinking with those old thoughts that don't work. Because whatever you're thinking, you're creating. Let's put it that way. Whether it's something that's not good or whether it's something great, it's whatever you think about is you're creating with intelligence.
I actually looked up the definition of intelligence. I actually found it pretty interesting. It's not exactly what I expected it to say.
Okay.
It says intelligence, the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. So it's not actually how much you have, it's the ability to acquire and apply.
And we all have the ability to acquire, just exactly what I was saying.
It's not any sort of measurement
It's
at
no
all.
measurement,
It's the ability
no.
to acquire and apply it.
Right. That's the whole.
So it's not about how much you have.
No.
It's how you use it and how much you find it.
Right. And because we all have the same intelligence. We don't have anything different. There's intelligence exists in this universe, and we are part of it. So we just use it. That's all. We just use it, and however you choose to use it is what you experience. That's exactly what that description said, right?
Yeah.
So
that was interesting. I'm not what I expected. Another thing that you talked about, you were talking about how you can't see what's actually driving life.
No, you can't see life itself.
That's what you call life itself, yeah.
Life is the driving force that moves everything. That is life. What makes the tree grow? What makes the leaves? Right now, right where I study every day is there's some nice, big, beautiful trees. The leaves are starting to grow. They're barely coming out right now because it's that time of the year. You can't see the life that is making those leaves grow. You can't see it. You can't see the life that makes your body move.
No.
You can't see it. We only see the effect of life, that's all. But the life itself you can't see. Same thing, like I said, with love. You can't see love, you only see the effects.
Yeah.
That's it. So.
And those effects, in terms of our life, it's caused by our thought.
Right. So, you know what? The more I've been learning about the truth about ourselves, the more and more I learn, change your focus on what you think about daily, and your life changes. I mean, it really changes. Thing gets better and better all the time if you're thinking better thoughts. That's all. Just think better thoughts, and because you're always making something. Always. You can't stop. Period. So.
And you're talking about now, if you want to change things, is to start thinking about them daily.
Daily, all the time. Forget the old, forget the past, forget what you did in the past, forget all that stuff. Just think. I think next week maybe this is going to be the topic. History is a little overrated. I know that it's necessary. Okay, don't get me wrong, but it's overrated. Okay, way overrated history.
I guess we'll talk about that next week.
We'll talk about that next week.
So now you're talking about, somebody had a question from one of our listeners, a listener by the name of Christina.
Okay.
She said, What advice, going off of today's topic, what advice would you give to somebody seeking a promotion?
Seeking a promotion, believe me, this. Well, I can tell you what a disaster is.
What?
A disaster is trying to analyze and figure it out how to get promotion. It's a disaster as far as I'm concerned. It's a disaster because it can work. It's like a 50-50 shot. It can work, and it might work, you know. Yeah. But why should we live by can or it might work? Why should we live that way? It's like gambling. It's like a gamble. Why would we gamble? I'm going to analyze and figure it out when there's a way that it's 100% foolproof, which is to see yourself in that position. See, you know, I think some people have trouble seeing themselves, but you can eventually see yourself in that position and know in your mind that you have that position. Like if you already have that position, just keep seeing it in your mind and go to work. Get serious about what you're doing and just work hard at what you do. Be good at just work at being good at what you do. That's it. But see yourself where you want to be. You will be there one day. Or if you're not there, like I have advised others, if you don't get to that position, you know why? Because there's something greater waiting for you. Now, think about it. How can you go wrong if you don't get the promotion you want, but there's something greater than that? As long as you can see that and you know, hey, I didn't get that, but there's some greater waiting for you, something greater will come as long as you keep your mind set on that.
And that's something that actually just came up recently in my life because for people that have been listening would know that I play in a band, right? And I had a guitar player, and now I don't have a guitar player. So now we're a band without a guitar player, so I thought that, well, I might as well try to pick it up.
And how's that working out?
And
you saw yourself playing guitar. How's that working out?
It's working out pretty good.
Because you went to work, right?
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on it.
How's it going? Pretty good?
But I think the reason why that you're saying something better is because he left and we were in need of one. Yeah. Now I have, I'm developing a whole new skill that I never had before.
Right.
And if he had stayed, I probably would have never even done that.
Just confirming the point that I just made. Exactly. Something better. So as long as you see something better will come. Isn't that better for you?
Yeah, it's because it's just going to make me a better musician.
No, let's just go real quickly over you.
And then at first sight, it sounds like a bad thing that he let,
Well, you could have.
We're down a member. It could have let it turn into a bad thing.
You could have, right?
Yeah.
If you all looked at it and said, oh, that's a bad thing, now we got to go through all this. But what did you say? You just said, there's something better. I'll just learn to play myself.
Yeah.
Now you can actually go and play in a little time. I don't know, depending on you, how proficient you want to be.
I'm getting close to being ready for the stage.
So now you can get back up there with the same guys, except for the guitar player. Now you can get up there yourself and fill in and do it now. So you haven't been held back. So something better came from it, didn't it?
Yeah.
But there's something I want to ask you though.
But before you get to that, but it's kind of how fast it picked up, and it. I mean, obviously, I've had a lot of experience playing music in general, so you didn't have to learn any of that stuff, so that kind of helped everything. But it kind of inspired me. It was like, man, if I could pick up guitar this fast, granted, I already kind of played a little bit. I was like, man, I need to buy a saxophone. I think I'm going to start playing sax next.
Okay, well, that's what I wanted to ask you. Tell the list, because I know, and anybody out there is listening, they know very well, people that know you. Mm-hmm. You're proficient in what? Name all the instruments. You're already proficient. You're not an amateur at it. You're professional at what? How many
keyboard.
You play
keyboard and bass.
You play keyboard and bass, right?
Yeah, and then I would say I could probably play rhythm guitar before this.
Rhythm guitar, and now
I'm trying to lead guitar. Yeah.
So now,
and when I'm playing it, it feels really really good just to be not clumsy at it anymore, and it feels like you're accomplishing something.
Yeah.
So it's satisfying, and that's again something that would have never happened probably if things had been different.
And what's the only thing that can stop that from happening? You.
Me not doing it.
You. That's it. You.
But I've been
beginning to doubt. No doubt. Never. No doubt. I love the name of that band. No doubt.
Oh yeah,
perfect.
Good,
no doubt.
Band too. And I think there's one thing that I've been really picking up from doing it. Is that practicing really small chunks of information. So you're practicing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Something really small, really short. You practice that over and over and over until you can start to not even pay attention that you're doing it, and then you're talking over it, and then you're having a conversation while you're doing it, and you're just playing it over and over and over, and then eventually you're able to play it really, really fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's just maybe just in something else that people could apply, is just taking maybe small steps,
right?
Focusing on smaller things.
Now, let's look at it. Let's analyze this a little bit. In the beginning, when you started piano, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see it as an impossibility, right? You just kept going, right? And I know that in the beginning it felt impossible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can even remember that. I know it felt impossible for you, but you didn't let it become impossible. You just kept going. Then all of a sudden it became a possibility, right? Because you stayed focused on a daily basis, right?
You feel clumsy. You
Right.
feel very clumsy.
Right. Well, because you are in the beginning.
And
But then you advanced. After that, you saw yourself into bass, right? Playing the bass,
Yeah.
right? And then you advanced from that. You did that for a long time because you saw that it was possible. And then you advanced to bass on the keyboard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You advanced to bass and keyboard at the same time, right? And now you're advancing. Everything's a possibility, right? As long as you stay focused on a daily basis, it all becomes possible, right? So now, let's take it a step further.
Get the sax, is that what you're saying?
No. No, I'm talking about stadiums, packing them.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think there's any difference with that?
No.
There's no difference. As long as you can see it on a daily basis, what will begin to happen, as you're already beginning to see all the possibilities where you can play, all the places you can play now with the different groups that you're becoming more and more in demand. Isn't that the whole process, what we're talking about here, just playing itself out? So what has to happen for you to increase your drawing potential is all thinking about it. Just think about it on a daily basis, and you'll be drawing more and more people to you all the time.
Yeah. I think there's
That's it.
with everything, and I think maybe some things are a little bit more mysterious than others, but there's a series of things that you can do to be prepared for it. Yeah. And if you don't do those things, those series of things to be prepared for the possibility of something good happening, then when the opportunity comes along, you're not going to be ready for it.
Yeah, but you're preparing yourself.
Well, that's exactly what I'm getting to.
Right.
Like, of course, when the guitar player leaving, we had to figure out a new strategy. But I mean, that's just something else that Okay, now that we're maybe getting it more figured out, it's like, okay, well, let's go back to preparing for the opportunity for whenever it happens to come.
Okay, now I have a question for you. So if there's any musicians out there listening, how many nights a week now are you playing?
Like 3.
3 nights a week, almost
4 this week.
Sometimes 4 in a week. For all you musicians that are out there that may be listening, think about it. 2, 3, 4 nights a week, almost every weekend, every week. That's quite a bit, because I was a musician myself, and I know there's a lot of guys out there that aren't playing that much. You're playing a lot now, right?
Yeah.
So that can increase even if you want. It's all up to you. It's all in thought. Keep thinking it, and you can throw in more and more all the time. That's all up to you. Everything's up to everybody that's listening to us. It's all up to you. Shall we take a little break?
Yeah, we'll take another quick break here. Maybe we'll cut the song in half, maybe. But let's go to break. You're listening to Truth Only Show.
Here, 1050 AM, 102.3 FM, and 106.5 FM.
Abriles olvidados en el fondo del placar del cuarto de invitados. Eran tiempos dorados, un pasado mejor. Aunque casi me equivoco y te digo poco a poco, no me mientas, no me digas la verdad, no te quedes callada, no levantes la voz, ni me pidas perdón. Aunque casi te confieso que también he sido un perro compañero, un perro ideal que aprendió a ladrar y a volver al hogar para poder comer. Flaca, no me claves tus puñales por la espalda tan profundo, no me duelen, no me hace mal. Lejos, en el centro de la tierra, las raíces del amor, donde estaban, quedarán.
Alright, everyone, welcome back to the Truth Only Show. That song was called Flaca by Andres Calamaro. He's not from Mexico, he's from Spain. And actually, the last band is from Argentina, so you're hearing music from all around the world today.
Well, that's good. Open up our minds a little bit more.
Yeah. Speaking of that, another thing that I've been learning, and I think this is something that maybe to talk to people about not getting discouraged when trying something new. Another thing I've been trying to learn is Spanish. And I was looking at, I've been working on it for a while, but I've been working on it a lot recently. And one thing I've been, you look at these words and you're trying to read them and you're struggling with pronouncing them correctly.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. I was like, this is really, it's really hard. And I figured, and then now that I've been doing it for a while, I'm starting to see a lot of words that I've read before. So they're way easier to say. Like they just come out real easy. And I said, man, no wonder, I don't know why I was questioning why it's so difficult for me is because I've never said that word ever in my life. It's literally the first time I'm saying that word, and it's in a different language. So obviously it's going to be difficult for me. And now that I actually have a little bit of a a little bit of a catalog of words I've said, the words that I said, when those come up, I'm like, oh, that's easy. I know that one. You know what I mean? And it just shows like, oh, you can get discouraged in the beginning, but if you do it long enough, eventually that will go away and you'll start to feel encouraged by your progress.
Well, see, as adults, why it appears to be more difficult. Well, I guess you could say it is because we've already developed all kinds of distractions. We have a job, we have this, we have another language, we have bills we got to pay, we have all these things.
You spent so many years not doing it.
Right. Think about a child, though.
Yeah.
A child growing up, he can learn 10 languages. You know why? The reason he can is because he's not distracted. He just pays attention to what you're saying. He just copies it. He never thinks too difficult.
Yeah.
He doesn't think.
The thought of, but I've been speaking English for so long.
He has no past.
Because it hasn't.
He doesn't have a past. See, that's our problem as adults. We look in the past. Well, I never did it before. In the past, I've never done it. See, a child has no past. He can't look back. And what's he look back at? He got nothing to look at.
Yeah.
So he just looks forward and just says, I can do it. And he doesn't even say I can do it. He just listens and copies. That's all.
Yeah.
He copies and just absorbs it all. And you can teach him 2, 3, 4 languages, and he'll learn them without a problem.
It's pretty incredible.
So,
and it almost seems like sorry, but it almost seems like a missed opportunity when you have kids. I mean, just try to shove as much as you can.
Well, they can do a lot.
I mean, there's amazing kids that are online that are better musicians than probably I'll ever be because they're just.
Well, they have no distractions.
I don't know what they did.
They have no distractions.
They did it though.
That's another whole show I think we could do on that because that subject gets more complicated than that than just the child looking at.
But it's amazing though.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, I've always thought about things like this. Why we're getting off the topic now, but I've thought about things like why is it some people come into this life and they're so good at something already, or else they already know what they want in life and they pursue it their entire lives. How many of us do that?
Yeah.
There's people in their 20s and 30s and 40s and still don't know what
they're going to do.
Still trying to figure out what they're doing. Yet others come into this life. I give an example like Oscar De La Hoya, for example. Yeah. He started boxing at 5, and his whole career, his whole life, he's in his 40s now, his whole career has been boxing. One aspect of it or not. First, he became an amateur boxer. Then he became a professional. Then he a gold medal winner. Then a world champion several times over. And then right after that, he straight right into promoting. Why does somebody decide so early what they want to do and follow it all their lives? How many of us do that? No, but why did that happen? That's
a question.
That's a question in itself.
We'll talk about it on another show.
Right.
Teasers are dropping so many.
Right. Right. We're going to drop. I already forgot what first time I said we're going to talk about next week. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. History. It's
overrated.
overrated.
It is. Important, but overrated.
So now when you're saying now people are looking at and they're thinking like their surroundings.
Yeah.
And is that enough though, just to start thinking about something else? Or like
that's a necessity. It has to happen.
Has to happen.
Yeah. So if you understand the physical world are only effects of what you've been thinking. Okay. Yeah. That is the most important thing that people can understand. What you have in the physical world are only effects of what you've been thinking. So if you can understand that concept, you want different things in life, you got to think them. It doesn't work the other way around. That's backwards. If you think, oh, I'm going to be happy when I have that big car. You better think you have that big car.
And the car's not going to make you happy.
And the car's not going to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
And then make the car. That's it. That's the way it works. Thought first. That's actually what metaphysics is. People think metaphysics is something mysterious and occult and all that other stuff. That's a whole bunch of nonsense. Metaphysics is very simple. You think first, the thought first, and then you create the physical. Mm-hmm. The thought first before the physical.
And it really doesn't
all
mean
metaphysics
really
is.
doesn't mean that much at all. It's just really as simple. You just focus on something and you work to get it.
That's metaphysics.
But they don't do themselves any favors by calling it metaphysics. They're trying to make it sound too fancy.
Yeah, well, I mean, physics, metaphysics, but that's all it is. It's nothing mysterious, nothing weird, nothing occult, none of that. Mm-hmm. It's just a very simple thing. It's not.
So do you still have things that... And we have a couple minutes. What do you still have things that you're focusing on daily?
Oh yes,
yes.
Things that I don't know if it's okay to be talk. I have different opinions. I got mixed feelings about whether I should talk about what I'm working on, but it is what I know that I'm working is coming true.
Yeah.
Slowly though, I mean, and I always go back to a tree. That tree, when you plant that seed and it starts to grow, you're not going to have all that big giant tree with apples in a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months. You're not going to have it. But as long as you're patient and you keep your mind on it, one day you will have an apple tree with hundreds of apples with thousands of seeds. So it'll come back multiplied.
You can't see it grow either.
And you can't see it.
It just happens overnight.
It's just happening. It's the life that's making it happen. You can't change the process. You can't change it. We can't change it.
So learning.
Nobody can change the fact that you're always making something. You can't change that. Mm-hmm. That's what's so important to understand.
That is. And it's important that you come back next week and listen to the Truth Only Show. And before you do that, go to trutholnyshow.com, check out some of our previous episodes, and tell us what you think by emailing us at trutholnyshow@gmail.com.
And remember, you're listening to David Paul Band. Check out davidpaulmusic.com and bellcityplayers.com, and check out for some fantastic nights of entertainment. See you next week.